Eyes and in real days, even the chef came back. Everything's okay. Let's toast it up. Oh, baby, let's toast it up. Oh, every day, every day, all day. Even the chef came back. Everything's okay. Let's toast it up. Oh, baby, let's toast it up. Oh, champagne. So I'm getting past my eyes. Me, the face, you're shining bright. Everything's okay. It's just that baby, let's go sit up. We feel right. Everything all day. We were chilling that. Everything's okay. It's just that baby, let's go sit up. In my life, let the faithful and you cry. So it's just it's just Peter, I Shattered and I saw about me. Tried to faithful days. Came down and so can't be baby, let's go sit up.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 6 minutes past the hour. It is the second day of the month of July. It is hot as Hades out here. There is a Category 5 hurricane barreling down in the Caribbean. And all I can say is thank God that I woke up this morning and everything was A-OK. If you're out there experiencing anything because of Burrow, because it's doing its thing, listen, we are in prayer for you. Everybody else out there, if it is hot as Hades where you live, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yours truly, Joe Dupree in the building. 100 BLK, the Black Station, along with my girl Jax. She's the life strategist, the art therapist, the speaker, the author, our brother from another mother. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Let's get
man.
that. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
man.
right.
From the open line, phone line at
There go.
WBLS 1075 in New York City and keeping it real with Reverend Al Sharpton. Brother Fatim, I see you got that Jamaican shirt on. Jamaica probably talking to Burrow right now, talking about what you're doing coming here, man. We told you not to come. Go around, go to somebody else now. Oh, you bum McLeod, go somewhere else.
I was in Jamaica and I purchased this shirt. I
Mute it,
purchased
Jack.
this shirt in the inside, and some of my family members purchased some peace pipe stuff outside. We were in Jamaica, baby. So that's the
Jack,
real deal.
wait a minute. Why is Jax muted? Unmute yourself, Jax.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
All
sniffling over here. Y'all know my allergies.
You've been sniffing.
No,
What the hell?
sniffling.
What the hell?
I thought you sniffing. What you sniffing?
I ain't never sniffed in my life.
All right. Good morning, family. Good morning. I see folk in the chat. Good morning to everybody in the chat. People are logging in worldwide. Good morning to everybody who's logging in. This is what we do 2 hours every day, Monday through Friday. If today, the 2nd of July, is your special day, you know it's Cancer season. If you're in the zodiac signs, it is the season of the Cancers. So I'm going to ring this bell. I'm going to give you a round of applause because today might be your birthday, your anniversary, your work anniversary, might be your special day, might be the day one of your kids got born. Whatever it is, we celebrate the day with you. Yeah, we do. And it is 2 days from us being, well, not 2 days, 1 day for some folks, 2 days for others. But we're about to be down in Grand Old New Orleans. New Orleans and Rice, New Orleans. Interview with a Vampire, New Orleans. We're about to be down in the city for the 30th Essence Music Festival of Culture. Man, I cannot believe that I'm really done got old because I have been at every Essence Music Festival of Culture. Get ready to catch the documentary coming out soon. I've been keeping things kind of under wraps, but we're going to talk about that later on in the show also. And we're going to be down there. Family, you might run into us, bump into us. Me, Brother Fatim, Jax may show up. You never know what might happen, but we're going to be in the building. And hashtag truth be told, along with 100 BLK, the Black Station, as we always do about this time, we're going to be down in New Orleans for the Essence Music Festival. And it's going down this year, family. It's going down.
Oh Lord, I just had a thought in my head. Ooh, I'm gonna share it. This is tell the truth, you know. So I've been out early. I've been outside since 7 o'clock this morning. Mm-hmm. You know, look at old Sniffy over there. Oh, sniffer uppercuts. So I've been outside early today, and I had pep in my step. You know, and I just love music. I wake up to music. I take a shower to music. I do everything to music, everything. And Jax, I had a pep in the step. Like I had a good night last night. You know, I'm talking about I didn't have a one-on-one night last night. I'm just saying, but I had that pep in my step. Like I had one of them. I felt good and light. I was like, what the hell? But I didn't have one of those nights, but I felt like I had one of those nights last night. It felt, it's like maybe the endorphins, maybe just getting out, the sun is shining, feeling good, getting ready to go to New Orleans. Maybe there was some kind of endorphins release.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know, I feel good. I feel good.
And you got the fresh line all piped out.
Oh yeah. You gotta be right. You gotta be right now. Come on now.
Listen.
Come on, hey, let's
you have a head full of hair at 42. You better go ahead with
I'm talking about.
Listen. I got to give a few pointers and tips out there, because there are some
Lord.
brothers, there's some Silver Foxes and some other brothers out there. To be exact, the Silver Fox Squad, a good friend of mine with the Silver Fox Squad, gonna be in the building for Essence. We're gonna all be getting together. We got folks already calling in early in the morning. Let's find out what's going on here. Hold on. But let me put them on hold for a second. Listen, y'all be careful what y'all wear out there. Them women will clown y'all, trying to look like Big Purple Pimp Willie. Y'all watch what you wear out there in New Orleans. That's all I gotta say about that. Let me take this call. I'll be right.
Okay, so Jack, I got a question for you.
Yes, my brother. Look,
All
read
right.
things today. Look, you see, I got.
Oh yeah, all right. I see that color. There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yesterday, you and Joe, we've always have our conversations. But yesterday, we had another one of those heart to heart. I'm on the recipient line, receiving the advice from you, Sister Jax, and Brother Joe. And, it made me think, because I really want to kind of just tell the truth Tuesday. I know we're not going to go into the personal thing, but what I want to do, because I did this last Tuesday on my other podcast, Tangy Tea of Life, and I'm not doing that tonight. I'm not doing it. I was transparent. I was totally transparent last week, and it was a friend in the chat. I have not heard from her since, since I was transparent. Like I tell people, I'm too old to lie. I'm too old to lie. I did bend the truth once. So I'm living that one. I'm living that one. But I wanted to kind of put this out there first before we got, because, it's politics. And I was just talking to some people. I mean, Reverend Sharpton is a political animal now. I mean, because he's out there main front. But sometimes you just got to slow it down. And sometimes you just got to pull back from politics for a moment. Because I get, yesterday was different because of the situation and the circumstance. But my question is, you and Joe gave me some great advice. And when I say great advice, not advice that I didn't know, but sometimes you just have to be refocused. And I want to ask folks out there and ask you too, we receive advice and direction from our parents, guardians, other people in life. How do we, how can I say this? Because we can look back and we learn a lot from a lot of people. Why is it sometimes hard to take your own advice or other people's advice when they are right, you're right, but it's hard sometimes to take that advice. Why do some of us have to learn the hard way? My mother used to say, a hard head makes a soft behind. You understand? And a lot of us are hard-headed. Sometimes we just have to put our hand in the fire to get burnt to learn the lesson. So my question, I know you're the life strategist, so I throw it to you, Jackson and Joe. But why is it that sometimes we have to go through hard knocks to learn a lesson that we already know is the way we should be moving, but we're hard-headed?
Yeah. I mean, well, you just answered it right there. We're hard-headed, right? We're hard-headed. Many times we become self-absorbed. We lean into our own understanding and we don't acknowledge the Most High when we're making those decisions. We're going off of what we feel and what we want to do. Sometimes we're very impulsive. Sometimes there's ego, there's arrogance, and we just, don't want to do the right thing. Sometimes there can be a demon spirit on us that gets us out of the spirit of the Most High and kind of leads us astray. And instead of us being strong enough to conquer those demons, we just kind of go along with it. We, buckle them up or her up in the passenger seat next to us and go for a ride. And you don't stop until you wake up after you crash into a wall. So sometimes we just have to get out of our own way, because many times I always tell my clients, when I coach clients, I don't have all the answers. You have all the answers. You know exactly all the facets of your life, but you have to be honest and open about it. I'm there to help you reframe, speak back to you, structure, and listen. Right. So in doing that, you can develop your own plan. And when you develop your own plan, you have a greater chance for success, as opposed to me telling you every step you need to do, because we all know what we need to do and we all pretty much know how we need to do it. But we just need to be told again. You know, sometimes we can hear it on the inside, but when we get affirmation from the outside, it's like, okay, this is the right thing. Let me just do what the hell I'm supposed to do. Because you already know pretty much right from wrong for the most part, right? So we just got to get out of our own way. Unless you want to keep on getting crashed into a damn wall, but get out of your own way. That's what it, you know, boils down to. And also, I love about you, Fatin, a lot of people don't do it. Like, it's even in scripture about seeking counsel, you know. So sometimes people don't seek counsel and they just go their own way and do what they want to do. And then, you know, they want to look around. It's nobody to blame but yourself. You know, nobody blame but yourself. So seek counsel, seek somebody that you trust, that you respect, that you're, you know, possibly willing to listen to, that knows that, you know, that they love you and have your best interest in mind, even at times when you don't love yourself. That's why it's so important for us to, you know, build a tribe and look at those that are around us and people that truly, sincerely love us, because there's times where we might not even really love ourselves, and it's reflective and indicative in our decisions that we make. So love yourself.
And it's interesting you say that, and I want to hear what Joe has to say. But I had a conversation with my barber this morning, Brother Carlos, and we were talking about it. And I was telling him how sometimes I wrestle with, you know, what I do and the level that I am on. I don't, you know, when the mics go off and I'm not on the radio and I'm not doing an event, you know, I'm out here with my family. I'm out here with the people. I'm not trying to be this, even though I may be a mover and shaker from other people's perspective, because I let other people say what I am instead of what I don't come up and say, you know, I am this, you know, or I am that. I just go out there and just do the job, and then I move like a regular person, because that's what I am. I'm a regular person. I'm not a star. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not that kind of person. But I do know the people that I associate with out there. What I've come to, my decision is with something. My decision is this: I'm going to move the way I'm supposed to move. If I'm supposed to move here, this is where I am. I'm never going to look down at people. You understand? I'm always going to remember the people behind me. I'm always keep my head straight forward. You understand? But if people need to be picked up, then I'll help pick them up. But I will not let their situation dictate me. And I will make sure that I'm in control at all times. You understand? I'm in control at all times. And I put things in the proper perspective, in the proper lane, because I was wrestling with something and I was like, do I cut off? No, I don't need to cut off a person. I don't need to do that. What I need to do is refocus on how I deal with that person, how I move, or not that person, persons, everybody. Yeah. How do you move with people out here, and how that you don't let emotions dictate you? You control that. And sometimes you're always going to wrestle with emotions because, like you said, impulse, you know, ego, we're always going to have that struggle. Jesus talked about that. Yeah. We're going to have that struggle. But at the end of the day, when you know better of doing something, then you don't fall victim. You just move in a logical way, and you make sure that you don't gravitate to the bottom and vibrate down there. So that's how I'm looking at it. Joe?
You're right. And you know what, Fatin, also, there's a principle called reflection and action, right? Mm-hmm. So reflection and action is very, very critical in life. So while we're in the midst of doing something, we need to think about the outcomes. So while you're in the midst of doing it, and I always say even before you're actually doing it, you need to play the tape. Play the tape, remove yourself from the situation, look down at yourself and say, okay, if I do this, what could the outcome potentially be? And whatever that outcome will be, am I prepared? Is my spirit okay with that? Mm-hmm. And am I okay with whatever the consequences may be? So you have to ask yourself, no matter what situation, what am I willing to lose? What could I potentially gain? But what can I potentially lose? And if you're not willing to lose whatever it is, you don't need to be moving in that direction, you know, unless it's a positive direction. So for instance, you might have a bunch of friends, but you say, you know what? I need to lose these friends because they're not healthy for me. They're still clubbing all the time. They're still drinking. They're still whoremongering. Right. I don't need to be there. So you might lose those friends, but you'll gain so much more in the end. So you have to ask yourself, what am I willing to lose and what do I truly want to gain? And reflect on it. decision you make, and think about the consequences.
Jax made a very, very valid point. She is the spiritual conscious of this podcast. And, I'm not trying to get biblical early in the morning. I don't want to go to Bible school or the church today, but it does say that in the Bible. And I think many a times we read stuff in the Bible and we kind of laugh when we read it because we say, yeah, that really don't pertain to me, because you don't want to see the bad in you. Many of us don't want to see the bad in us. We want to only see the good. And we just lost Jax. She'll be back. But, my brother, and I told you last night, and I meant it from the bottom of my heart, I love Brother Fatim. Fatim is my brother from another mother. And that's my brother. I mean, I go to war for Fatim. And we have developed a relationship throughout the years. That's my dude. And, and if you really care about folks, and this goes to everybody who's listening, if you really care about folks, you only want to see them do good. And even when you sometimes feel like you don't want to get involved in their life because you see where they're going, you might see that there's something bad about to happen. But if you really care for them, you got to care for them enough to be a real friend and say, listen, friend, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I did, and I'm telling you what the outcome was. That's what I did with Brother Fatim. I said, bro, let me tell you the potholes that were in my lawn that I couldn't even see and what happened with me. Because as a real brother and as a real friend and as a real person who cares about a person, you should always want to see them shine. Our problem is we got too much jealousy and envy in our community. People tell you, that's how you're going to find out who your people are. You want to find out who your people are? Win. You listen, everybody love you when you lose. Oh, you poor baby. But win and don't bring them along in the winning. You'll find out who your people, you'll find out who is secretly wanting you to see your demise when you start winning. You want to find out who your people are, start winning. Start winning. Start winning. If you start winning, you will find out quickly who your people are. You'll find out real quick who your people are when you start winning, because all of a sudden jealousy, envy, hey, bro, why? Like right now, we're getting ready to go to the Essence Music Festival. I cannot tell you if I can show you my call log through one day. And then it's then people who barely know you all of a sudden act like they're your best of friend and get an attitude when you say, I ain't heard from you since the cow jumped over the moon. Start winning. Start making something positive happen and see how folks start showing up out the woodworks. Do you remember me? How are you? And all of a sudden, folks will leech off of you. We said that yesterday. A leech will drain you dry if you let the leech keep latching on. You got to reach down, grab the leech, and take them off and say, look, no, you're on me for one reason and one reason only. Not to edify me, not to lift me up, not to help me when I'm in my down place. You are literally on me for one reason and one reason only, to suck me dry of everything you need to make you be all right and me to be skin and bones. And you got to just get away from folks like that. I know it's hard because some of them folks are our relatives. Let me do this, and I'm going to step away. I'm going to digress. Some of these people who will leech on you are your relatives, your children, your close family members, people that you love and care for. See, you got to understand this. Some folks that you love and care for don't love and care for you in the same manner you love and care for them. And when you expect you from other folks and you don't get you from other folks, that's when you're headed down a road of disappointment. Because one day you're going to wake up and you're going to see all the stuff you did, all the stuff you gave from the heart. And you're going to see all the stuff that was given back to you. And the equation is going to look like this. You're going to be, and then you're going to be distraught. You're going to be, man, I gave all this, all of me, and this is all I got back. And here's the crazy thing. While you're doing all this, time is moving. So now you done lost all the time, all the resources, everything given to people who were not designed to pour back into you what you were pouring to them. That's why you got to really pay attention to who your tribe is.
So in the last 4 months, there have been people that I've met You know, I met people on this podcast. There's been people in the last 4 months that I've met that have been, so far, they have been genuine people. And what Joe just said, Sister Jax, is about you want people to pour into you. And sometimes when Joe talked about the leeches, and you see the leeches. And sometimes what happens is when you get people that seem sincere. When I say seem sincere, I'm not saying they're not sincere. They seem sincere, and you get so many leeches around you, you appreciate them, the folks that seem to be more sincere. And sometimes through our appreciation, how can I say, I don't want to use the word misguided, because I don't think it's misguided. It's sometimes we want to show our appreciation. And how do we show our appreciation? If this person is not a person that you are in a relationship and you intimate with, sometimes you show that appreciation through compliments, comments, teachings, doing things for them. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes that can cause confusion at the end of the day as well on both sides. It can cause confusion on both sides. But then sometimes because of where they're at in life, they can't pour back into you what you can pour into them. But sometimes as much as we pour, as we need people to pour into us, sometimes we got to give back and pour into other people. And we just got to make sure that when we're pouring into them, that we're not hurting them or misguiding them in the long run, and then setting ourselves up to be hurt in the long run as well. You know, I'm kind of talking through codes here, but I think y'all both know what I'm saying. Because, for instance, without going into things, I meet a lot of people that may have life challenges. I don't know why God does that. Don't know. But I'm a person that's going to look out. I can say that out of all the people I met some beautiful people in life, but Hanifa was my soulmate. Amen. And, you know, and it took that long, but that don't mean there's not other beautiful people out there. And I keep saying that right now, when you experience something and then you lose it, when you lose that, doesn't matter how long they've been in your life, but if they have been in there for a duration, you yearn that, you mourn that, you understand? And you yearn to have that again, because it's the same thing as that good cake, that good food, that good person, that good song. It's that it brings back memories and you remember the good times. So what happens in life is when you meet other people and they give you good energy, you want to surround yourself with them. And when they continue to give good energy, you understand what I'm saying? You want to give that good energy back. It's just, you got to be straightforward with it, and you can't allow your emotions to dictate your actions all the time, because that can lead you down the wrong road.
Absolutely. So let me say this before I go to Jax. 29 minutes past the hour. You know, and Jax, I'm going to give it to you and I'm going to digress. Let's just be truthful. As you said yesterday, let's cut out the bullshit. A lot of folks ain't found their soulmate. A lot of folks done found their soulmate and lost their soulmate. And they actually going through the motions of the song. If you can't be with the one you love, you better love the one you're with. And that is also problematic. And that's just the truth. I can't, you know, a lot of people out there, they got their soulmate, and because of their own mistakes or situations, circumstances, life was life, and they lost their soulmate. And they may never get that soulmate back again. So instead of, like they say, if you can't be with the one you love, you better love the one you're with. And life be lifing. And understand, life is ups and downs, good and bad, and constant adjustment. I say it all the time. If you don't adjust and evolve, you're going to become extinct. Understand, you can kill your own love. You can kill your own giving spirit. You can kill your own self by getting into a place where you don't want to adjust. Stop being stuck in your ways. What worked back in 1960 and 1970 and 1980 and 1990 don't work in 2024.
That's right. That's right. And you know, and that's so great you say that. And that's beautiful that you found yours. Joe, you found yours, Fatine. I'm so blessed that, you know, I found mine. I mean, my husband and I were even laying in bed last night, and it was 2:00 in the morning. and we're still talking. And you know, he started talking.
I knew you was up 2 this morning because you liked something on Facebook at 2 in the morning.
Shut up. So you was up too.
I was.
I don't even know what it was.
Ninjas.
Yeah. So I mean, like, we were laying in bed and just talking. He was talking about, you know, the day we got married. And just the smile and the joy that was on his face as he talked about it, and was saying, like, babe, I don't know. You know, I wasn't afraid. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't scared. Like, you know, that was the best day of my life. I was marrying my soulmate. Like, you know, God put you here on this earth for me, and I found you, you know. And it's such a beautiful thing to, you know, be able to look at him and have that same exact emotion. And he was like, babe, that was the happiest day of my life. And literally, when my husband and I got married, we didn't even go down. We didn't even have our big, you know, reception at that point. We literally went, you know, to another state, to a courthouse, and got married, you know. But, you know, our parents were, well, my parents were there. His, you know, 2 of his best friends were there, and, you know, we had pictures, and, you know, we just still had like such a beautiful moment. But I just remember, for him, it was his first time being married. It was my second, but it was his first. But just seeing the joy and elation on his face, and knowing that he's comfortable with the decision that he's making, right? And so I think back to what you were saying, Brother Patine, also about winning, right? Because we have to understand that when we start winning, whether it's finding your soulmate, or whether it's a new career path, or just any great opportunities, we have to know that in that moment, Satan is like, oh, okay, check. Let me see how I can destroy this situation now. Because Satan doesn't like wins that result in positivity for us. His job is to steal, kill, destroy by any means necessary. And if he can't get us directly, he's going to try to attack what we love the most, right? So even in marriage and relationships, or whatever situation it may be, we have to know that as soon as we start winning, Satan is on the prowl, trying to destroy it. So we have to be cognizant enough to recognize that before he even gets in our sphere of influence, right? We have to keep him away, and understand, to be armored up and be prayed up, right? And then that leads me to think about social anxiety disorder that a lot of people in different situations in life are facing, and they don't realize it. So if you think of the word SAD, social anxiety disorder, a lot of people deal with that, and because they're afraid of embarrassment, right? They're people pleasers. You know, they do a bunch of different things to try to make themselves feel comfortable, and make, but still in making others, you know, feel comfortable as well. So social anxiety disorder is real, and it's deep. And of course, nobody wants to be embarrassed, or nobody wants to be humiliated, but some people truly have a fear of all of that. So being that they don't want to be embarrassed, they don't want to be humiliated, they don't want to go through certain things, they try to go above and beyond to please people. And you have to find a balance with that, because trying to please people can still be dangerous. It can still put you in a position where financially, you know, you're at risk, because you'll do everything in your power to get money, to then give it to somebody else to please them. You'll spend all your time, all your resources, all your thoughts, you know, dwelling on the situation, because ultimately you want to please somebody else, rather than really digging deep down in to figure out what is it that you need, and what is it that God wants you to do in the first place. So if somebody is suffering with social anxiety disorder, there is help for that. And people don't even realize that that's a problem, but it's real.
You said that yesterday to me. You said that yesterday, and I took that in consideration. Let me just say this here, and, you know, not to put somebody on the spot, but your cousin KC, I gotta thank her, because we were having a conversation the other day, and I said, I thought about something, and I made the statement. It was a learning moment, but that's why sometimes you have to have that adult conversation where you give and they give back. And in the past couple of weeks, I mean, she has really been so helpful of, you know, just to be there and just to have someone just to talk to. I thought about something the other day, you know, and, you know, Casey never met Hanifa, but she, you know, got a chance to learn of her, learn some of the things through some of the, you know, my pictures I put out there, and in the way I talk about her and stuff like that. And I thought about something, how we can lose somebody in life, right? And when I say lose someone, you could break up from them, or they can, you know, they can make their transition. And a lot of times we look for things that are similar or the same, because we still want to hold on to those good memories. But I said to your cousin KC the other day, and when I said it, I said, wow, that was interesting. I said, sometimes God puts a person in your life that is different than what you had. And the reason why God does that, because if you continue to compare, you will never see the uniqueness in them. So sometimes God puts a different person in your life that has different characteristics and different personalities, even though they're still good, which allows you to start from the bottom and learn this person and get and go on to appreciate them and love them in that way. Because I keep saying there's not just one soulmate out here, and you can love more than one. It may not be. I believe you can love more than one at the same time, but we ain't going there now. But I'm just saying, sometimes you need to move away from the old to get to the new and appreciate the new and learn the new and learn to love the new and really see what it is. And that is what a life is about. Appreciation, about love, but really seeing the genuine essence of a person and not compare them to the past. Because if you continue to compare in the past and you didn't move from the past, you still live in the past. And to move forward is sometimes you need something different, unique, but you still need something that is going to uplift you and keep moving in a positive direction.
37 minutes past the hour. We are broadcasting live on Facebook Live. We are on YouTube Live, and we are on Facebook. And you can call in if you'd like to chime in on the conversation. It is hashtag Truth Be Told. It is the 2nd day of July. We are 2 days, actually 1 day from us arriving into New Orleans for the Essence Music Festival of Culture. And I am going to be giving y'all some stuff throughout this podcast and tomorrow's broadcast, because we will not be broadcasting on Thursday. On the 4th of July, we will have a link that you can see the best of hashtag Truth Be Told. And we will be back broadcasting live from Essence on Friday. But there's going to be a lot going on. So before we go to Jax, I know Jax had something to say. You would know I would click the wrong button. Let me tell y'all, there's going to be a lot of things going on in New Orleans, and I'm going to try to keep y'all abreast on what's going on. And I had to put it up there. Manny Fresh, DJ Jubilee. Now, Jubilee and I went to college together at the Grambling State University. And it's going down, the Metropolitan. It's going to be the Quiet Before the Storm on the 4th of July. And listen, family, you need to stay locked to my social media, because I'm going to be throwing up flyers, parties, posters, everything. If you want to know what's going on in New Orleans, keep up with me and Fatim, because we're going to be all over the place. So it's the Essence Music Festival of Culture, 30th anniversary. We're going to have a party, y'all. And we want y'all to have y'all face in the place. So let me say that.
Okay. Could I get a couple of comments in before we go back to Jax?
I was actually about to hit a comment. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so you want me to start or you want to go?
You can start. I was about to hit Dre's comment, but go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to go all the way down the line here. So Sister Dre says, I think sometimes you listen, but you think, oh, that was back in your time. Things are different now, or that it happened like that for you, but it's going to work out differently for me. Barbara Bacon says, good morning, everyone. Gilbert Davis Anderson Sr. Amen. Good morning in the ATL. Eddie Bonnet says, if you care about folks, you only want to see them do good, even in disagreements. That's right. Eddie Bonnet comes back and says, never stop being good because of bad people. Sister Dre said, yes, Brother Joe Dupree Anderson. Expecting me from other people was a hard lesson to learn for me. Willie Pickens says, what Joe is talking about, you just pray for them and leave them in God's hands. Lana Whitehead says, I seen Jax and our soulmate when they were just friends. Awesome friends first. Sister Dre comes back. We are always involving and changing. What worked for you 10 years ago may not be what you need now. And Willie Pickens said, G-Man is in the house.
GS, you. I thought you knew. Grambling State, let's go. My favorite HBCU, even though I do a lot of work for Southern University and people know me from Southern and they see me all the time in Southern paraphernalia. I do have a paper hanging on the wall that says the Grambling State University, where everybody is somebody. Home of the Coach Eddie Robinson. That's how I had to say it. Let's go, family. Listen, I don't know about y'all. I'm getting in the mood because I know there's going to be a lot of folk that look like me, look like us, and I love us. I just love this time of year because after the BET Awards, which shows the best of us, our culture, we go straight into Essence, and it's just a time of what I call a cultural uprising of Black folks. Because if it ain't happening in Cali, it's show happening down in New Orleans. I'm smelling red beans and rice right now with some
Well,
andouille.
let me just say that I want Jax to get in here, but Joe keeps. I'm not really, but I'm going down there, and I'm going to enjoy myself down there. Essence, I'm taking time off, so I'm not working Reverend Sharpton show. I mean, I'm gonna do my open line show, 1 hour, no online show this holiday weekend. But there's nothing wrong with having a good time, but we are in critical times. And the same way that the Vice President Kamala Harris mentioned, at the BET Awards, they're not like us. This is real. And one thing that bothered me the last time I was in New Orleans dealing with the aftermath of Katrina. And I remember we had a rally and we marched over the bridge that white folks shot their guns and would not let Black folks get over to get to more dry land. And I looked at the crowd. We had a nice crowd. But that night, when I went out in New Orleans, I saw lines around the blocks to go into a party. And that just disheartening. So for me, it's bittersweet for me because we can party, we can eat, you can shake our asses. But when it comes down to voting and being out in the know, we had more people on the chat yesterday because there was an incident, but because of a damn incident, unfortunate incident. But then when it comes down to us doing the frivolous thing, and there's nothing wrong with to let your hair down, but we still need to do the damn work. That's why it's hard for me to pump something when we are not balancing as a damn people. I'm sorry to rain on the parade. I support Essence and 30th anniversary. I'm there, but I do the work. We do the work, and I expect our brothers and sisters to do the work as well.
That's right. Patine, you are so right, Brother Patine, and it's so unfortunate because even when you go in our community to a back to school night for your child, right? Many times in our community, it's crickets. It's nobody there but the damn teachers, a couple of engaged and concerned parents, and that's it, right? And a few administrators. But when it's the kids are having to play at the school or, they're dancing or you're giving out free turkeys or whatever, like you say, the line is around the block. But when it's something to do with a school board meeting or back to school night, something that really you can engage in to learn and support your child's education, you're not there. But the minute them damn turkeys come out, everybody's there. Everybody stays up in the principal's office, trying to get a voucher or trying to get something free. But misplaced priorities. And that's one of our biggest problems as a people. Our priorities are misplaced. You go into urban areas, we are some of the poorest people out there, right? But we the flyest dressed ones out there. You go to some of the communities, they got the rundown sneakers. They have the, a couple of shirts, a couple of pants, keeping it very simple. They have something, to get dressed up to go to an event. They have their little casual stuff and they have their play clothes, right? But with us, we want to look fly everywhere we go. And they got a piss in the window to throw it out of. But they have a multi-million-dollar home, right? So their priorities are different. Go ahead, Joe.
But I think we had that conversation yesterday offline, if I remember. And people will live. See, we'll have a brand new Beamer, a brand new Benz, a brand new Bentley, and we'll park it in front of a trailer house or in front of the projects.
Yep.
We'll park that brand new Bentley Beamer, a Bentley, a Benz in front of the projects or a trailer house or a dilapidated house, while people who have $1 million homes have a Prius outside.
Yeah.
What we will spend enormous amounts of money on fake Gucci, Louis, and all other name brands. Fake, not real, fake. It's not the real deal. And we will always try to give the perception. See, the object of the game is to win, not to look like you're winning. See,
right.
one of the cliche sayings that hurt us the most in our community is fake it till you make it. No, I'm not gonna fake it till I make it. No, I'm not gonna fake it till I make it. No, if I ain't got it, I ain't got it. Guess what? And if I can't afford it, I can't afford it. Too many of us go broke trying to prove to people who are broke that we ain't broke.
And let me just say this, and this, and anybody that knows Joe, so I say this so people know, anybody knows Joe, and he talked about this a couple of weeks ago, about how he grew up and how the reason why he is I call it a classy dresser, I'm not talking about those folks there. I'm not talking about those folks that tend to move in a certain light, that's out there, a politician, a civil rights leader, and they so-and-so. For me, I have the money to go out there and buy another suit, 2 suits, 3 suits, another pair of shoes, do this, that, and the other. But sometimes I put myself in, I deal with humility. And like I said, I learned this lesson early on. When I first got into corporate America, working for the banks, we had to dress. We had to dress suit and tie. I worked on Wall Street. I worked in the World Trade Center. I worked Midtown Manhattan. I worked there. I had to wear. I wore my Bally's. I did all that, and didn't have money. Then all of a sudden, we hit the .com era in the late '80s, the '90s, where we started wearing the khaki pants. You understand? You want to put on a tie, you throw on a more casual tie or no tie, and we made money.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Mtume, the late Brother Mtume, taught me something by just being an example. He played with Miles Davis. He was a Grammy Award winner. You look at how many times he's been sampled, how many times his song, Biggie, so many people have sampled his music. And I watched him, he could dress when he wanted to, but he just put on a pair of pants, shirt, hat, and roll. Everybody came up to shake his hand. You know why? Because of what he represented. Not because of what he had on. So that's why I said this weekend, I'm coming down there because I bust my ass day in, day out, and I'm not coming down there to impress anybody. I ain't talking about my credentials. It is what it is. Because sometimes you gotta check your ego at the door. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to say, I need to woosah. Yeah. I ain't being on guard. I told Joe, I talked to him last night. I'm not bringing a pair of dress shoes down there for nothing. That's all to it. I'm not doing it.
Watch this. And your style is your style.
Yeah.
See, once again, I'm not here.
I can do it.
Right. Hold it. And once again, your style is your be as that to me. And I'll say this. If I don't see Fatim with a baseball hat on or a baseball jersey, I don't feel like I'm seeing Fatim because that is literally associated with Fatim's style. That is Fatim's style. Me and the suits and the way I dress, like I told you, if you only knew the woman who adopted me, if you only knew these 2 women right here, that's the reason why I dress the way I dress. Because literally, when I was adopted by Mrs. Anderson, I became her personal little Ken doll. And she made sure that her personal little Ken doll was just the way she wanted him to look 24/7. Listen, back in the 70s, when brothers had fros like this, I can show you pictures. My hair was neat, clean cut all the time because I was my mama's personal little Ken doll. And we was talking about that at another time. Mm-hmm. But I'm seeing some of the comments in the thread, and it's nothing wrong with living in a trailer. It's nothing wrong with buying from Goodwill. To be exact, most wealthy people, if you won't believe it, they buy from thrift stores and Goodwill and things like that. That's how they stay wealthy. That's how they stay wealthy. They accumulate wealth. Be exact, most wealthy folks will do some of the most strangest things to people who are not wealthy because wealth and poverty have never understood one another. They are 2 spectrums that are completely polar opposites. Yeah. That's why when you sit down and really talk, that's why I have a problem with sometimes the people we put in politics and in office, because how have you never experienced or even have a good understanding of poverty, but you're here trying to resolve a impoverished problem.
Yeah.
You don't even know how it feels to wake up in the morning with a hungry stomach. Most folks who are in politics have never missed a meal a day of their life. They don't know how to fix homelessness. They've never been homeless.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Some have, but they don't talk about it. So it's a disconnect when you talk to the people. Robert Johnson said this here in the chat. He said, "I minister to white millionaires who only wore blue jeans and a casual shirt." And see the difference. See, this is a mindset. This is what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to understand the difference is, if you have, and then you're not fighting or striving to have. When you don't have, when you are in the have-nots, you want better. So when you get the opportunity to shine, that's why you put all your energy and your money into this or that to shine, because you want to be like the Joneses at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. And you know what? I love what people are saying in chat, like you said, Joe, about Goodwill and thrift shops. I love, and Casey knows, I put her down with thrift shops and stuff as well. I love a good thrift shop. I mean, I've gone out and picked from the jewelry to the clothing to the shoes to the thrift shop and look like $1 million. Put it on and look like $1 million. I will stand next to any chick that spent $5,000 on a dress to go out to an event, and I'll kill her. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about how you carry yourself, what you like. You can furnish your home with stuff from thrift shops. I have many times, if I want to upgrade or renovate or do something different in my home, different decorations, my first stop before I go to Marshall's or whatever online, I'm going to a thrift shop, and when I go there, guess what the parking lot is full of? Lexuses, Beamers, and Benzes, right? And everything else, because they know the value of $1, and it ain't nothing but little rich people there shopping, being wise. Like even when my son went away to boarding school the first year, it was tough. My ex-husband doesn't pay 25 cents for my kid to go to our kid to go to school. I pay the entire tuition, me and my husband now, right? So I say, you know what? Let me find a way to save. So I will go to the thrift shop and find my son, the khaki pants that are popular still is Vineyard Vines, right? Vineyard Vines khaki pants might be $100 in real life. I'll get a brand new pair at the thrift shop for $3.
Come on.
Button down shirt. My son has so many clothes. He's like, "Mom, you ODing on this. Like, I got too much stuff." But I would get in there sometimes, get so excited because it's so much stuff at such a great price. So you got to find value in it, and find balance in it. Also, if you buy something for your home and, at another store and you realize, you know what, I don't need it, don't hoard it and put it in a closet. Take it back. I was just at home since yesterday. I bought some, throw pillows for my couch. And I realized, you know what, I don't like these particular ones. So rather than using them or stuffing them away somewhere, I took it back and got my $45 back. Get your money back.
Listen, you said a word that a lot of folks need to really focus in on, this one word. Mm-hmm. Value. Mm-hmm. Value. Understand, it's a difference between what a thing costs and how valuable a thing is. Mm-hmm. Understand that. Too many times we try to say that in order for it to be valuable, it has to have a big price tag on it. Mm-hmm. I forgot the movie with the Wayans brothers, but I remember the title, and it was The Best Things in Life Are Free. Mm-hmm. Value on certain things, and understand that it's a value. It is 6 minutes to the top of the hour. It is Tell the Truth Tuesday. We are telling the truth. Come on, family. Hey.
And it's nothing. Let me just say, there's nothing. Let's go here, because one thing we're not going to do, because I remember in church growing up, in some churches, they would frown on money. And I remember one minister was saying, and I agreed with him. It was like, the problem is, it's not about frowning on money. There's nothing wrong with money. It's just, don't let money control you. You control money. We all need money to survive out here. You understand? It's nothing wrong to buy expensive, tasteful stuff neither. It's to the point, are you robbing Peter to pay Paul, or are you taking away from the essentials that you and your family need for survival? You understand the necessities. If you have it, fine. That's cool. But even if you have it, don't look at that as materialistic stuff making you better than someone else because you have it. If you got it, appreciate it, buy it, enroll. But don't say, I bought the most expensive bag and I bought the most of this, because people will frown on you because you got the expensive clothes and living in a house and driving this car, but your personality is garbage. And that's horrible and that's horrific to be as a person. So there's nothing wrong with having. I don't want to seem like we criticize it because everybody don't have to live in scraps. You understand what I'm saying? If you got it, you wear it. But don't let that control you. Don't make that look down at people. And then remember what Jack said. If you have it and you got stuff in your closet that you're not wearing, you lost weight, take it, donate it. Because that makes a difference. Like I said months ago, I took my daughter. My wife said, Hanifa said to me, it was a 24-hour coat drive for my radio station. And I was going 11:30 in the night. And Hanifa said, yo, take Fatia. Take Fatia with you. Take her. You ain't got to take Rakai, but take Fatia. Because Fatia took out some coats. She said, let her see the whole process. Let her get there and dump the coats in the bin herself. Let her appreciate that she took something out the closet that is still wearable, that she was giving it to somebody that was less unfortunate. Even though she may not see the person that wears it, give her a sense of give back, understanding that you may have and someone doesn't. And I took my daughter and we got back at 12:30 and she took that lesson to school and took it every day in life about helping and doing for others.
That's right. Can I say, Joe, real quick? And I love that. And it's so important. That's phenomenal. And years ago, when I worked for Newark Public Schools, I started a program called the Dads Network, right? And one of the initiatives that I created was, having the dads go out. I don't celebrate Christmas anymore, but, I would have them go out and buy Christmas gifts, but they would have to do that with their children. And when they would take their little kids out to buy Christmas gifts, they had to let their children know these gifts are not for you. These are for sick children in the hospital, right? So the dads would come back and tell me stories about how their kids were falling all out on the floor, or, they were sad or mad at first. And then they would bring all the gifts to one central location. We would have a huge party and music and a DJ and, food and snacks. And we would have a gift wrapping party. So then we had all the tables set up. The dads would sit there with their young children. These kids are in preschool. They would sit there with their young children and wrap the gifts. And then together I would say, all right, guys, now we're going to the hospital. So we would take these gifts, go to University Hospital and go room to room to all the sick kids and give out gifts. And the look on these fathers' faces was priceless. The little kids were not able to come up to the unit, obviously, but they still understood daddy's now going in this building to give the gifts that you picked out to other children who are less fortunate, that are struggling and fighting for their lives. So stuff like that is so important. And that is a memory that these kids will have for the rest of their lives. So that situation that you did with your daughters is priceless. And that's what we have to do, is teach our kids to give back more instead of always being on the receiving end. They have to learn how to give back and be joyful in giving back, right?
Amen. 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 And as I see some of the comments, and I want to go to one of the comments from Ms. Dre Watson, and listen, family, I say this and I just say this out of love, give. Listen, y'all don't know. I go to Skid Row. My local Skid Row, because we have a local Skid Row. I go there at least once a month and I give away pairs of tennis shoes that I don't wear anymore. Some that I've only wore maybe 1 or 2 times because I put them on and said, oh my God, I can't believe I bought this shoe. Or I give away clothes that I have barely ever worn. I go give it to complete strangers. And here's why, because I know they're out there every day struggling, homeless, don't have anything. There's times I go get something to eat. I went into a Subway a few days ago and literally said, listen, I would like to, hey, there he is. What up,
That's
G?
my soulmate, y'all. That's my boy.
What up, G? What up, man? What's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great.
You still working too hard, brother? We're gonna have to have this talk, man.
Yeah. Hey, man, you gotta work. You gotta put in that work, man.
Hey,
sometimes
you don't eat.
Sometimes it's work that you get paid for, then it's God's work. You know,
that's true. I got you, but you got to balance it. You got to balance it. You got to make sure that you take care of that inside and that physical, so that you can continue to move forward. So there's nothing wrong with the woo side once in a while, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right. So of course he's going back out now to handle some other business. So, but this is my boo. He's getting ready to leave, so I just had to have him slide on real quick. That's my boo.
Be safe, my brother. Whatever you do out there, may God be with you, and may peace be upon you, and may you be safe, my brother.
Yes, sir. We got to hook up when we do something with the kids one day. Do the podcast, man.
Hey, we got to. Don't worry, man. I'm on my way up to Jersey when you least expect it. My brother lives in Jersey, so I'll be up there.
Right.
Yeah. So he I shared it on social media recently. I was on the show also when I was going to the Attorney General's office when he was being honored for this amazing.
Oh yeah, congratulations! Yes.
The Queen City Mentoring Academy. So he started that 20 years ago, man?
No, 10 years ago.
10 years ago. So it's an amazing mentoring academy. If you need him to come to your state to start one as well, let us know. If you see these young men and women, this is a free camp. It's through the Plainfield Police Department, and it is a free summer camp. They pick up the kids from the house, drop them off, feed them meals all throughout the day, take them on trips, give them a uniform to wear. These kids have the shorts, the shirt, the hat. They're outside marching, doing drills, and the trips that they go on is phenomenal. And it's not just somewhere, fun to the beach and stuff like that, which is they do that, but it's also educational trips. And it's the most brilliant police detectives that are a part of it. And they impart so much knowledge, love, and wisdom within these kids. And it's something that you have to see. And the Attorney General acknowledged it. Out of all the programs throughout the state of New Jersey, there were only a few that were awarded. And my husband's program was one of them. So kudos, Bo. And if you guys need to come in, you guys have to see it. It is phenomenal. It's called the Queen City Mentoring Academy.
We'll be posting through you.
Okay. Yep. So I'll be posting something because I'll be up in the mix sometimes. So
it's amazing because I go back some years with BCAP, Black Cops Against Police Brutality, started by DeLacy Davis in New Jersey, and working with the police in New Jersey on different issues. And the work that you do, my brother, I need to spotlight. Not only we gonna spotlight here, but I need to spotlight in the New York tri-state area, in Jersey, Connecticut, on WBLS, on our platforms, because it's not that you do the work for the spotlight, but I think more people need to know the work that you're doing, especially the work that you do for the kids, because a lot of times we talk about the negative out there, but we don't uplift those that are doing positive things like yourself and what you're doing with the children. So that's my commitment. That's my word right now. And Sister Jackson can stay on me on that's something that we will be doing in the very near future. All right.
We love the kids.
You know what I would love for us to do? I would love for us, and I know my husband would love that as well. We need to do a Truth Be Told camping, hiking retreat. So maybe that's something that we could plan, and maybe our faithful viewers and listeners can chime in, get registered, and we can take you guys out on a overnight camping trip, or it could be a day trip, whatever y'all want to do. We could build.
I want to do overnight. As long as there's a cabin and a bathroom, I'm there. Yeah. But don't tell me I gotta rough it and wash up in a pond. I don't want to do that part. I don't want to wash up in a pond now.
So we'll be easy on y'all. So we'll get a cabin. We can have a girls' cabin.
You'll be easy. No, you'll be easy on him, not on y'all.
Joe used to it.
Been through that. Yo, no, you gonna be easy on him.
That's right.
Yes.
I'll be.
But no, we could do the bonfire stuff outside. Build our own fire, primitive fire starting. We'll do a lot of stuff. Teach you how to do a bear. The bear hang.
Come on now.
Because there are bears out there. There are bears. There's snakes. There are foxes.
There's what? What did you say?
Everything. Everything. Look at me. But it's so much fun. We could go canoeing. This is what we do. So I will look, and then we could go. Well, no, we can't even go live necessarily, because I was gonna say we could even do a live Truth Be Told.
We can't.
We got to figure out. We can't get reception up there, so we got to figure it out.
Trust me, you might not can get reception, but I have some devices that can
And,
get
and that's what one thing I said I want to give to your husband right now. When Jack said that y'all didn't have reception, that bothered me, because you never know. You're on the East Coast, you know, New York, New Jersey, the ports and everything. You never know when an emergency goes down. So you're a law enforcement officer. We need to make sure that we have communication devices. I don't know, ham radios. This is part of our preparedness network that we look into. When we get into areas where we don't have reception, we still need communication. We do not need to have to drive so many miles to get reception on our phone. We need to be able to communicate, because you never know when an emergency may happen up there, or emergency back in town, that people need to get you. So that's just something that I just want to share with you.
Yeah. It's all worked out because it's at a campsite, so
okay,
everything's pretty relatively close, you know. And we do have 2-hand radios.
Camp rangers always come through and check on folks. That's what camp rangers do.
Look, no, not where we at. I ain't never seen
not
no
where they at, Joe. No. They got, long as they got their stuff is close by, and he says he got the 2-way radios. Long as you got that, that's all I'm asking for. You got to make sure you got that.
And believe it or not, it's actually good for the kids to disconnect, for it not to be service.
Right.
You know, and even adults, sometimes we all need like a reboot, and we need like some type of fasting from that type of stuff, and not worrying about things sometimes. Correct. So, but the cell phones, sometimes they do work on the trails.
Okay.
Because sometimes we can even use GPS on the trails, and it's set up like a highway. Like it can actually navigate you back to the camp. Yeah, the trails are set up like a GPS. So occasionally.
So don't worry about it, because you know me, like they say, you know, what worked in the past, we can use. So I'll go back to the Flintstone era. I'll get me one of them pigeons and write me a note, and then send that pigeon out, and that pigeon come back, and I got it. It'll work like that. You know what I'm saying? Smoke signals. We got to learn how to do smoke signals.
Well, most folks,
he got it down pat.
Most folks don't know they need to learn how to do what I call night navigation. They teach us that in the military, where you can navigate yourself by looking at the stars and understanding where you at by just looking up at up in the sky. The Indians did it all the time. That's how they got from point A to point B, the Native Americans.
That's right. So we will love it. We'll play some games around the fire and do some other great things. So we'll start talking about that, guys. Offline. Have a truth be told.
We'll do that.
But
the truth be told,
we're gonna do it with the kids, but we also gonna do an adult one. We need to do an adult one. I think that we need, as you just said, Brother Burnell, that we need some time to disconnect, but sometimes we need to disconnect from a lot of what we do out here, but reconnect with us as us as a people, as adults, because sometimes we don't even take the time to communicate the way we should communicate because we're so busy. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. So even when we stay in the cabin, for all those want to like glamp, you stay in the cabin. There's a bunch of nice, big, clean bathrooms. There's a bunch of bedrooms with about maybe 2 to 4 bunk beds in each room.
Refrigerators.
Yeah, 2 refrigerators, stove, huge kitchen, huge living room area with couches. You know,
I know somebody in the chat won't be cooking. I ain't gonna say no names, but
we know who that is.
Yeah,
we just watch the stuff. She can watch the stuff. Yep, but no. So when we're there, we don't cook inside. Family. We still cook outside. We take all the food. We prep inside for the most part. But when it's time to cook, we literally build a fire outside and cook.
You better prep inside, because a bear be right over your shoulder if you prepping outside.
I know, but we eat outside. So
you can eat outside.
You don't eat outside, Patin. Yeah. Well, I love you.
I'll see you later. All right, y'all. All right. Okay. Deuces, baby. Deuces. All right.
So it is 9 minutes past the hour. And let me go back to rewind this back to a comment that was out there, because the team and I talked about this last night. Family, here's what we got to let y'all know. First of all, let's get into a couple of things that are in the news. 10 minutes past the hour. Of course, you all heard what the Supreme Court said. I just saw breaking news. Donald Trump says because he had some official acts going on with the Stormy Daniels trial, he needs that verdict overturned. So that's what goes on in the news. Now, what I really want to talk about else is a resurgence of COVID-19. There is a resurgence, and Jackson's been talking about this ever since we started this podcast. Get ready for another pandemic. Get ready for another virus. And right now, they're talking about, y'all, there is a resurgence of COVID-19. And it is affecting many states, many folks. It's not as bad as it was the last time, but nevertheless, keep in mind, there is a resurgence of these respiratory viruses that cause issues with people. And if you already have some pre-warned conditions, you got to be extra careful. So, you know, as you get out and about this summer to the beaches, to festivals, to different occasions, because I've got the Essence Fest coming up, then I'm going to Orlando for 5 days. I've got a lot of stuff. Football season is about to kick back off. Before you know it, I'll be out and about with all my HBCUs, and we'll be in stadiums, and we'll be congregating at tailgates and at different type of occasions. Hey, there's still viruses out there that can cause major issues up to death. Be careful. Be prepared. Get your immune system right.
That's right.
So Eitan Edwards, which I finally got him on this broadcast, he talked about the polar caps that are melting. Jax has been talking about it, but Jax has been talking about it from a perspective of what they've been saying is going to happen. There's things that are coming down the pipe that they're not telling you. They're not telling you. And what's happening is they'll tell you, oh, this COVID new virus come out is not that bad. I had people on social media said they got COVID now and is back with a vengeance. Now, when they say it's with a vengeance, meaning they are really, really, really sick. I said to Joe last night that that's why I said I'm not running to every damn thing in essence. I'm just not. And I'm not really trying to walk around in a mask neither, because I haven't done that in a while. Not to say that I won't have them with me. Because I always travel with them, but I haven't worn a mask in a while. I just haven't, but I just have to be prepared. Folks, I'm telling you, we got a Category 5 storm as Beryl, Hurricane Beryl, as Joe said at the beginning of the show. There was a movie, it's the day after tomorrow or something like that. They talked about a superstorm where hurricanes merge together. Hurricanes merge together. Cat 5s merge together. That is a possibility, y'all. There are things coming down the pipe that we may see in our lifetime, we may not see in our lifetime. The world is changing, y'all, right in before our eyes. Yes, you can pray, but a lot of people pray and still perish because of tornadoes, thunderstorms, lightning, natural disasters out here. This is real. And viruses and sickness. People don't realize how many people die from the flu. How many people die from COVID? How many people get a staph infection? They're eating bacteria infection, which is also a form of staph. Y'all don't hear these things because it's not reported, but people die on a daily basis to this. Some people die because they get stung by a bee and got an allergic reaction to that, or a wasp. So I'm telling you, people eat certain foods and have food allergies, peanuts and other allergies, and next thing, their throat. If you ain't got Benadryl or can't get Benadryl stat, you're gone. I'm not trying to cause a panic.
If you don't have an EpiPen,
you don't have an EpiPen, you're in trouble. And I told my daughter the same thing. You have asthma. Don't walk out there without your pump. It's plenty of times that Hanifa wasn't born with asthma, but she developed asthma. And it's times that she'd be like, I'm out there. I was like, you got your, I always call it scooting, because she had to take that. She said, I got it with me. Because she said, you drill me all the damn time, Fatine. So damn right. You got it with you. And we have to, again, I'm going to say this here, and I can't say this more. We get in relationships with people that have health challenges. You need to understand what they have, and you need to be able to advocate for them. Because a lot of times you cannot advocate for yourself when a crisis comes on. You understand? There's another thing. For instance, we fought for this to go 50 states with sickle cell people. We wanted something to go in the computer. What you take because you got to realize when you take pain meds, some states and hospitals look at giving pain meds differently. If you have a regimen, and doctors all over. This was something that I was working with T-Boz. She didn't initiate it, but I brought her in, T-Boz from TLC, the music group TLC, of having this 50 states of a national database for those with sickle cell disease, or you wear that bracelet, or have some kind of health medical, what medicines you take, what takes this, your doctors, your people to call. We need to have that. Have that on your phone that you can bring up. And that your loved ones can bring up. This is the medicine. I knew her need for medicine, the strength by name. I didn't need a paper. I knew that. I knew what she took. I knew what pain meds she took. I knew what she took for folic acid, how much she took for this. I knew that. I knew what albuterol. I knew all that she took. So you got to be able to advocate for your loved ones because you never know when they go down. Just hypertension and diabetes. What type of diabetes? When's the last time they checked their diabetes? If you are living with somebody with hypertension and diabetes, you always need a machine or to check their pressure or their diabetes, unless they have something that's on their arm or their body that you can scan. You understand? There you go. That's what Joe said. See, there you go. See? So that's what I'm saying. You have to be prepared, y'all. This is nothing. I was just talking to your cousin, Sister Jack, and don't. I'm not telling people to go out there and get addicted to drugs. Opioids crisis is real, but there's no way that we as Black people need to be under-medicated because we have a chronic illness and we suffer from pain, and doctors want to look at us and say, oh, Black people can tolerate pain, or women can tolerate pain better than men or other races out there. That's BS. And you need to know how to advocate for yourself. And if you can't advocate for yourself, you have someone to advocate for you.
You know, Brother Fatim, you're saying something great, and I'm going to pass it over to Jax for a prime example. And I just see where Mashawn Baines put in there our food. And it's real funny because you don't know this. I said it last night to starting in August, I'm going on a 90-day fast, August, September, and October from bread. I'm not eating any bread, 0 bread in my life for 90 days. And you have to sometimes detox yourself from certain things, you know, and I'm going to go 90 days with no bread for a lot of good health reasons that has to do with my diabetes, with high blood pressure, with some issues that I have going on. You know, 90 days, no bread. You know, you've got to find what it is that is your thing that will make your life better, healthier, where you can elongate these days that you have here that are already numbered by the Most High. But there is a way that you can literally make it that you live your best life while you are here. And family, we've got to do, I say it, I know it sounds cliche-ish, but we've got to do better. And we've got to look at each other and say, guess what? I've got to figure out where I've got to do what I got to do to make me a better me for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Fatim, I love how you were with Hanifa and how you always talk about with her medical treatment. That's something else that we really need to be cognizant of when we're trying to jump into these relationships. Feeling the other person out, right? Getting to know what their values are, how they, you know, would treat you, you know, if you're under the weather or if you're sick or you get a health condition. You know, marriage is about through sickness and in health, richer for poor, all of that stuff. But you have to really understand, is this person a nurturer? Could I count on them to help care for me in any capacity if I'm sick or injured or, you know, need some help? Are they responsible financially? Like Joe said, if you don't work, you don't eat. You know, so we really have to think about that when we're, you know,
wait a minute, you sound robotic, Jackson. Joe's like, oh, you stupid. You sound like a robot, girl. You got to go in and come back.
Boy, they came and got her. They said, no, sir. Not today. Not today, Jax. That information, see there? The gremlins. The gremlins. Speaking about gremlins. hold it. Speaking about gremlins, and this is gonna sound real funny when I say this. Did you see that craziness? There she is. She back. I think she back now.
Yeah, I want her to finish her point.
You back? You back, Jax? Oh, what? They got Jackson in the Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I don't know what it is that I hear for some reason. I don't know. Ever since I did this update on my computer, I'm freezing more. I'm dropping out. Let me just log completely off and come back on to see if it's better again.
Come back in. Come back.
Please do. Please do.
Hey, Joe, you said something just now. Yeah. And I don't want to harp on it, but folks, I got to harp on it because I know what Joe meant. But Joe used the word. He's going on a fast for 90 days from bread, which for diabetics and other, with carbohydrates, that's a good thing. That's very good. And then you mentioned about our days numbered by the Most High. And it brings up another question about destiny. Because if you believe, and let me look in the camera because I'm serious about this. If you believe that God, your days are numbered by God, and then what's the hell that you just eat what you want to eat? Do what you want to do because it's destined that you're going to live to 45. It's destined that you're going to live to 68. That's why I say I don't believe in destiny like that because I believe you can change your destiny. I don't believe our days are numbered like that. I believe that God gave us breath in our life. We have choice and will, and we are out here and we live life. And what we put in is how we may get it back. Sometimes you have a health condition that you don't know of. Sometimes we do pass up a heart attack or stroke or whatever. But what I'm saying is, again, is if it's destined and you believe that God has your days numbered, then it don't matter if you smoke, drink, or whatever, because you believe that God has your days numbered. And that's why I say we got to be careful how we cliche things, because if I believe you can change your destiny, I don't believe your days are numbered like that. I just don't believe that.
Brother Fatim, when I say it in that manner, let me give some clarity here. I'm not disagreeing with
you're not the only one to say that. So you just made a statement. I don't think you believe that.
Yeah. I'm not. No, I do believe.
Okay.
Because I believe I've actually seen it in Scripture. In Scripture, it says that God had went to a man and said, "Listen," he had sent the death angel to him, and the death angel said, "Now is that day that God had already preordained that you leave." And the man bargained with God, said, "Whoa! I'm not ready to go. Hold up. Let us talk about a few things." So that's in Scripture. At the end of the day, just because there's a set day and time for you to leave this earth, like there was a set day and time for you to enter this realm, you had nothing to do with the day you came. You'll have nothing to do with the day you leave. But guess what? That doesn't mean that in between time you just live life the way.
But I don't think God puts a stamp on it when you leave like that. I just don't. I'm sorry. Because if that's the case, then Joe, it don't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do.
It does matter.
How does it matter if it's predetermined?
Hold it. Death.
No, you got to deal with logic. It's not about a quote. It's not about a quote. It's about logic.
No, Brother Fatim. I'm not trying to quote. I'm trying to make what I feel is my opinion. Once again,
we can't deal with opinion when we're dealing with fact right now.
Hold it. Okay, fact. Everything that lives dies.
Correct. That's right.
So guess what? Just because I realize that one day I will die doesn't mean that I need to, quote unquote, do anything I want to do up until my day of death. Because guess what? If you do certain things, you may bring that death a lot sooner than it would probably be.
But if it's predetermined by God, you can't alter that. That's all I'm saying. If you guys are saying it's predetermined, it's destiny, then what's the purpose of changing your lifestyle?
So, Brother Fatim, I'm trying to use this, as you call it, mud English, the best way I can. What I'm basically saying is the simplest of this. There is a day you are ordained to be born. There is a day that you are ordained to die. I'm not just going to do and live my life however, because I know that God has said one day whatever day he chose, not the day that I know, because I don't know what that day is, but whatever day that God has already wrote in the book of life, this is the day that I'm calling Joe home. I'm not just going to live my life any which way, because guess what? I know that there's a day out there that I don't know about. It might be tomorrow, it might be today, maybe 20 years from now, maybe 50 years from now. I don't know. I'm just going to live my life any which way, because at the end of the day, everything that lives dies. Period.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not talking about like being a good person. What I'm saying is a lot of us say, watch what you eat, get the proper rest, which is normal things for our body. It's good to put the live food in our body. It's good we need rest to rebuild cells and stuff like that. I got that. The point I'm saying, a very simple point. If God has predetermined and God has predetermined that, then what's the purpose of changing what you eat? Because you going on God's word, and God's word said July 5th, 2100, so-and-so is going to leave here. Then what the hell is, I'm going to eat me a grape or I'm going to eat me a pork chop? It don't matter, because 2100 July 10th, I'm gone, because it's predetermined. If it's not predetermined, that's why I'm saying I don't believe that it's destiny or you can change. That's why God gave us will to choose between this and that. That's why I say you got to be careful. If it's predetermined, then what's the purpose of will?
Well, Brother Fatim, what I'm saying is,
I know Jack's is chomping at the bit for this one.
And I'm getting ready to give it to her. But what I'm saying, and once again, I only speak for me. I believe that, once again, what I do now matters later. That's what I believe. I believe what I do now matters later. Sister Jax.
Yeah, well, hold on, Jax. I'm going to put your cousin's comment out there. Casey says, so why do we pray for God to spare someone's life if the date of death is already determined? And I keep saying, we praying, we don't want them to die, but we're doing that for us. We're doing that for us. But if it's predetermined and that's their time to go, then why are we praying for God to change that time if it's predetermined? I'm telling y'all can't answer this. I'm to tell y'all cannot answer this. But go ahead, Jack. I'm gonna listen.
In your opinion, and before we
no,
go,
in my opinion, you can't answer this, Joe.
Hold it. Right, hold it. So before we go to Jack, who just passed out,
This is fun.
come on, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Give us your name, give us where you call it from, and let's go.
What's up, family? This is Sister Michonne. Y'all are too funny. Now, you know, Capri said, oh, I'm fasting and I'm staying away from bread. You better stay more away from bread and do some real fasting, and then do nothing but raw fruits and vegetables. How about that? That's what I'm doing right now. That's going to determine my death date, because I'm going to stay healthy. So that's the sacrifice you make. Like, we're fasting for a couple of days and we're going to eat after 6, and we're going to eat nothing but like vegan food. But I got to make it real good. You know what I mean? Salads, nuts, olives, raw fruits, that raw vegetables. And like you said, Brother Fatim, it's supposed to be a normal way of eating. But we got out of normalcy, even with our diet. So it's like, oh, I got to prepare. I'm making a vegan dish. What? That's something we're supposed to do every day. And so it's difficult to get into that naturally. So that means we kind of like messed up. That's why all of us, I'm not going to say we're all sick, but a lot of us have some medical issues because of getting out of the normalcy of organic food. And so now we're forced to get back to that if we want to live and meet our expected end. And that's all I want to say about that.
Okay, thank you for calling in, Sister Michonne.
Yes.
You. Listen, if y'all want to call in, phone lines are open. Sister Jax is back, 225-250-8770. Sister Jax, the mic and the flow is yours.
Yes, yeah. I had to get off my laptop, y'all. I'm on my phone now because I was still chopping up all crazy. But yeah, you know what? God can do anything, right? So yes, when we're born, a death day could be set, but it's God. So he could always change that. He gives us free will, and he gives us choices. So if we decide to go to the left, perhaps our death day can be this, but if we go to the right, our death day can be that. So why, chance it and eat all type of crazy stuff and do all type of crazy stuff, living on the edge, YOLO or whatever, you only live once, just to suffer until you get to your end, or to rapidly bring your end even that much closer. So I mean, it's something that we have to weigh out. Do you want your end to be where you have to stick yourself all the time, or you have to be on dialysis, or something else that potentially could have been preventable? But just saying, oh well, you're only gonna live once, so I'm gonna suffer until the day I finally die. Like, no, like, we just got to make better choices and just have some more discipline. What I've come to realize, and it's part of what we talked about earlier, in our community, we suffer from a covetous spirit and a gluttonous spirit, right? So when I go to a lot of the affluent communities, you don't see very many people overweight at all. You see some, but not many. But you come to our community, you could walk down 2 blocks and find 30 people overweight. So we have a spirit of gluttony, and we just eat like it's going out of style, eat stuff that's not good for us. And if our mind thinks it, and we're like, you know what, I want a bag of chips, I'm gonna eat a bag of chips. Then you might switch it up and say, I want an ice cream sandwich. And now you're gonna eat an ice cream sandwich, as opposed to being disciplined and being more focused on what we eat and put into our bodies. And I love what she talked about, raw foods. Like, that's what we were born to do. Eat those raw fruits and vegetables, and not all this processed stuff that comes in a bag or a box or a metal can. So we just have to do better as a whole.
I want to say this, and thank you, Sister Jax, for that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is either or. If it's predestined for you to do something, then you can't change that. Now, Jax, you made a good point about suffering. I love that point. That's a good point there. That's an excellent point. But I had come to something in the Bible here. But the reason why I feel that we can change our destiny, because God gave us free will. And it talks about the hellfire. This is why I say it's not predestined. This is why I said it's not predestined. Because it's predestined for you to live your life and reach heaven. Then why do you have to? You see what I'm saying? If you're going to reach heaven, you was born and you're going to reach heaven, but your choices in life are not moving in a direction, then how do you do that? That's what I'm saying. You got to use logic here. You have to use logic. I'm not saying it's not predestined, but for me, I just don't believe it's predestined if you got these prophets and warners and all this coming to try to get man on the right track. If it's predestined, why do I send all these prophets? Because God has waved his hand and said, well, this person's going to heaven, this person's going to hell. So why do I send these people? Because I send these people to get back on track so they can come to, as Jesus says, my Father's mansion. Mm-hmm. That's why I said it's not predestined. We can change our destiny. You can choose between this and that. That's why I don't believe that God says the day that you're going to die. I just don't believe that. That's not faith. Because if you're sending all these warners, prophets, and giving the book and the scriptures and the 10 commandments and the 613 commandments in Leviticus, you're giving a roadmap of how to get to a place. Mm-hmm. That's what you're doing. So you're trying to get to a place. And if you don't do that, you'll get to another place. Mm-hmm. So you're choosing your destiny on how you live your life. Yeah. So that's why I said it's not predetermined by God where you go. Because if it is, then it doesn't matter what you do then. Mm-hmm. Because it's already predetermined. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I mean, so that still ties in with the choices you make, like you're saying. So yeah, so it could be predetermined, but like I said, God has the ability to switch it up. Like, so for instance, if say you're married and you're faithful for the entire marriage, but now near the end you start transgressing and having an adultery spirit and start sleeping around or start beating your wife or things of that nature. Certain things that we do, or say you get into bestiality or other things that are an abomination by God, he could say, oh, okay, this is how you want to play. I gave you the laws and the rules of what you need to do to get to me, but you want to stray all the way to the left. So now I could take you like in the blink of an eye. Like now your date is changed. Like we don't know exactly how it works. We just know what we can read in the Bible,
Right.
but we know his ways are not our ways, his thoughts are not our
Thank
thoughts.
you.
So
Thank you.
things
Thank you.
could change at the drop of a
I
dime.
was
So it's
waiting
not
on.
for us to understand, but he's telling us, okay, these, like you say, it's a roadmap. Here's the roadmap. If you decide to believe, if you decide to have faith, and you decide you want to get to heaven one day, this is what you need to do. So it's up to
Right.
us to do it or to not do it. But when
That's
we
why I
do
said.
transgress, yeah, exactly. But when we
That's
do
why I said it's not
transgress,
predetermined. That's why I
but
said it's not predetermined where you're going to go. You choose, honestly, your own destiny. God gives you that power because he gave you will. Just
yeah,
like Mashawn said. Mashawn said, Brother Fatin, I hardly do this, but I'm going to do this. She says, Brother Fatin, I thought heaven is on earth and or after death or birth. So let's go through the Lord's Prayer. This is what Jesus said. Let's go through the Lord's Prayer here. It says, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So that right there dispels Jesus and God being the same. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's saying my Father is in heaven.
that's
Thy
right.
kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Decipher. So earth and heaven is not the same. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is, the rest of it. But what I'm saying, Sister Mashawn, no, this is not heaven. It's if you believe in God and you believe in Jesus. Jesus basically said, "I'm not the Father. That's my Father. He's not.
Right.
He's that. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I said, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." Jesus didn't say, my name is holy. My Father's name is holy. You have to come through me to get to my Father, but my Father is the Holy One. You got to realize that, folks.
Go ahead.
So no, to answer that, Michelle. I know my stuff now. I just don't do it on the show.
So hold on, Brother Fatin. But once again, you got to, and you're leaving out one little secret sauce in this thing. The chronological moment that this was said. See, a lot of times we leave out the timeline and the sacred timeline. I hate to go into Marvel universe here, but the sacred timeline means something. The sacred timeline does mean something. So, you have to understand, and I love Sister Jackson when she said it. To be exact, I laugh because a friend of mine who watched the show that's an attorney in Oklahoma called me and said, I think they use Sister Jackson's premises to bring about this law in Oklahoma, because they are saying the reason we can put the Bible in school is it is a historical book that has a chronological timeline. So all I'm saying is I'm not disagreeing with you in any shape, form, or fashion. Your belief is your belief. Your belief is your belief, is my belief is my belief. And at the end of the day, we're all trying to get to the same destination. We're just on different roads. And I'm not here to say that you're wrong or I'm wrong. I'm just saying that we travel different roads to get to the same place. We both can get to New York City, but we can get there by taking two different roads. And we might get there at different times, but at the end of the day, you'll be there and I'll be there when I get there and when you get there.
Well, that still don't that, and that's nice, and that's cool, and that's fine, and I can agree with that. That still don't have nothing to do with predestiny. And then you mentioned something about the chronological, and you didn't go no further. So I need to know what you mean by that, because remember, I'm talking about what Jesus said. I'm not talking. This is what Jesus said. This is read in the Bible. This is not what Matthew, Mark.
When did Jesus say that? What verse are you reading from? What did you just read?
I've just read the Lord's Prayer.
Okay, from what verse? From what verse?
I didn't pull it from the Bible. I have to go pull it from the Bible now.
So you got to understand okay. There are things that Jesus said, and there are things that Jesus did before Jesus' ascension to the Father. You got to understand, sometimes you got to place, this was what was said and this was what was going on. This was before crucifixion or after crucifixion. You got to put it in the context of when it was said, because if not, leave it. It's just like anything else. If you cook certain things and you leave certain ingredients out, it won't taste the same. That's all I got to say. You the one past the X that's giving the lesson. So
right. Sure. I'm looking at it. It's in two places. It's in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 6, 9 through 13, and the shorter version is in the Gospel of Luke, which is chapter 11, 2 through 4. The Matthew version is part of the Sermon on the Mount, and it's considered the longer version. The two versions are similar but have some important differences.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
so the whole crux of it is either, get back is real, right? So Christ, the Most High, he's a vengeful God. He's a jealous God. So we have to understand and recognize that. And when we transgress what he says, at any moment, at any point, he could get us back like this. He could stop our life in the blink of an eye. So for me, rather than keep on playing around with it, every single day I'm struggling to try to do my best to become a better woman, a better wife, be more submissive and honor, my husband in the way that God tells me to do it. Be a better mom, be a better, just servant of God. So, but when I transgress that, it could be at any point where he could say, Jax, you still ain't get it right. Sis, it's over for you. Lights out. And literally my lights could be out. So, I mean, if you're going to believe, just try to do your best to do the right thing daily. Study, pray, apply, follow God's laws and, try to just be a good person and do what he commands us to do. Should you
one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is, how is it that you say you love me so much? You care about me so much. I mean so much to you. But every day you hate your brother and your sister that you see. Right. You have never seen me. But you say how much, you profess how much you love me and you care for me. But those you see every day, you have nothing but vile venom for them. Come on, family. Come on. God. Jack said another one of my favorite scriptures. Stop trying to figure God out, because his thoughts is higher than your thoughts. His ways are not like your ways. You trying to put God in a box that you can justify whatever it is you're doing or you're saying. I can't be right with God. All I can do is try to be the best I can be and pray that in his eyes, I'm doing exactly what he asked me to do.
That's right. And you know what? No matter how you slice and dice it, how some people slice and dice it, there is a higher power. Whether you believe in the Jesus part of it or not, there is a higher power. You even go to some of the greatest scientists to walk the face of the earth, and there are still things that they cannot solve or figure out, and it's just a mystery to them, because that's how God is. Like, how is it that a man puts his penis, inserts it into a woman, and then literally a spark of light comes within the woman's body at the point of conception, when that sperm fertilizes the egg, and that zinc spark, boom, it lights up. I'm telling you, I told you a couple weeks ago, it glows under a microscope at that time of conception. That light, that is magnificent. People can't figure, all of that stuff out.
That's the breath of life. That's the breath of life. I said that before you said. I never said that on the show, because I didn't know about that. I heard the spark, but I didn't know that light illuminates.
Yes.
I said that in my head years ago because I was trying to find out this, because I keep saying that people keep looking out there for God, and God was here. And then when I read the book, The Shack just put a lot of things in the movie, but the book is better. It just put a lot of these damn myths out the window. God is a man. God is a white man. God is and I love the way the book Shack. I'm sorry, if you're going to read the book, I'm a spoiler moment, but I love when the Shack presented God as a black woman, because I said this long time ago. So Jax, when you said that spark, you just hit it home with me. You hit it home with me, because I believe that's what it is. That's the spark of life there. We continue to look outside, up in the sky, and it's in here. It's in here. God is here. That's why they say God is everywhere. Sister, your cousin says, Casey says, why do people not call God by name? Now, I know Sister Jackson can give a lesson on this. I know why too. The point I'm getting to, we have so far fallen. That's why I tell y'all need to meditate, because vibration and words have power and they have energy. When you do like you can feel that through your body. You know, certain frequencies can break glass.
Yeah.
There's certain words and power that resonates and vibrates with this earth and vibrates on the spiritual realm. Using a mutt language like God, our Father who has God, that don't vibrate.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same meaning. That's why you can say for Teen's opinion, I'll stand on this.
Yeah.
God does not stand as strong as Yahweh. That's the name in the Bible. And it talks about where this comes from. It's the letters. It's the letters what? YHWH, which is Yod, He, Wah, and Ha, and He. And Jax, you know, because that's part of Hebrew. That's part of the Hebrew language. That's why I keep telling you, you want to say you know the Bible, and you don't even know the original language the Bible is written in. And yes, it matters, because some words and letters and vowels do not translate into English. So you don't get the proper understanding of when they say gods in the Bible and Elohim and the Anunnaki. You don't understand that. That's why I said it's not just about the book. It's about science. It's about mathematics. We are so damn fallen, so damn far from it that we are so far away from where we need to be vibrating.
That's right. And you know, Fatine, even with clothing, right? Even with clothing has vibrational frequencies. Even in the Bible, it talks about not mixing certain fabrics, you know? So
fabrics and colors.
Yeah, exactly. So they're definitely, it's deep. It's really deep. And I think we get so caught up on the nuances to just find a way. But like, if you think about it, when you drive a car, do you know every single part of the car that makes it work, that makes it run, that makes you get from point A to point B? No, you just have faith. I bought this car. It's going to get me to where I need to go. You don't give a damn about the catalytic converter, whatever all of this other stuff is. You just drive your car hoping that you get to where the heck you need to go. But when it comes to the Bible and it comes to God and having faith, we dissect it to every single minute detail to try to question and wonder and, critique, and sometimes like that's why it's all rooted in faith, because we can say on this earth, well, I don't believe, but guess what? At some point, every tongue shall confess and every knee shall bow. Right? Because even when Christ was being crucified, what people were like, oh, shoot, you are the Christ, like we were doubting you all of this time. Oh, shoot, so guess what? That time will come again, but that wrath is going to be that much more, so people can waste their time critiquing and trying to figure out, but think about we put more faith in a man sometimes, like a man or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, than we do have faith and trust and belief in the Most High. So we just have to, stop being so critical in a way. And so it's fine to still ask questions, but sometimes it's just about having that faith. It's like what Martin Luther King said, faith is taking the first step without even seeing the whole staircase or something like that, So it's just about faith and about marching forward and not being so, hyper, critical about, believing in the Most High if that's what you choose, to do.
Mashawn Baines says, and I'm not being critical, Mashawn, but I just want folks to think. You say, this is what Mashawn Baines typed. Your sin can make you casket ready.
Oh, sure.
Oh, it can. Oh, it can.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, it can. What about those people that didn't sin? What about that 5-year-old boy that was being rolled down the street and got shot by a stray bullet? What about the woman that goes to church and gives to charity, gives her heart, praise God, loving heart, gets robbed and gets shot and killed or stabbed and killed? So what I'm saying is, yeah, we can sin and it can get you casket ready. That's why we ask. That's why we don't understand.
don't.
We don't understand why the bad, because there are people that have sinned that have lived to 100 years old. There are people that have ate pork and drank alcohol and they have lived to 95 years old and didn't really have too much of a problem. So we just don't know. We claim to know and know all. We don't know crap.
You don't. You don't.
You know, it's funny. My 98-year-old
unjust.
uncle, my 98-year-old uncle says sometimes, I say, Uncle Sinclair, how did you get to be so old and still like look good and, you know, pretty nimble and stuff? And he says, from doing everything I wasn't supposed to do, right?
Right.
I drank, I dealt with women, I cursed,
Come on.
I, you know, did all type of wrong. But he says, I think this is the punishment for me to have to live day to day in the torment, thinking about all the wrong that I did do, right? And so for me, I was like, whoa, you know, that's deep. And although maybe he's not appearing to suffer on this time side of life, who knows what his end would be, because he doesn't really believe in the Most High. He was only going to church sometimes because of one of his 3 or 4 wives would go to church. Then he will ultimately go with them. But he had issues in believing, you know. But he's like, wait a minute, I think my suffering, you know, and me sitting here dealing with all this stuff I'm dealing with every day is because of all the wrong that I did.
Could be burning out karma as well, because you got to realize a lot of people suffer if you believe in that, is that you do sin on this earth, and before you make that transition, there's a sense of suffering because you're burning out some of that negative karma, so you can make that transition into a better place if that's the way you believe.
Yeah, well, perhaps. Actually, and it's almost like insurance. Belief is almost like insurance.
That's in the Holy Word. The Holy Word says that you can be forgiven of your sins to your heavenly Father. But whatever you do, it says in the Word, whatever you do up on this earth,
you got to pay the piper.
Pay it before you leave this earth.
That's right.
And you don't know what
bound on earth is bound in heaven.
Right. Hold it. You know, it might be mental. Just because you look good, you don't know what a person is going on the inside. You don't know what's going on in their thought life. Just because a person looks good or appears to be good, you don't know what's going on. It's 9 minutes. 9 minutes.
Just like gravity. Like gravity is real. Karma is real. Some of I have a book in there by the brother Sanguru, and he wrote about death, he wrote meditation, he talked about karma. Some of y'all don't know. Y'all say the word karma and you think it's an equal opposite reaction. It's deeper than that. It's a science. It's something that lives. When I use the word live, it's the same as gravity. You understand? We are on a planet that we're grounded. You understand? But when you go in space, the gravity's not there, so we float. Just like that is real, karma is real. These are certain things that are put in place. That's why I said we mimic words, but don't even understand that kind of principles out there.
You're right. And you know, even that makes me think about another conversation my uncle and I quite often have. And he says, Jack, you never know what it feels like to live to be my age. And you look around, your mother's dead, your father's dead, all your siblings are dead, all your friends are dead, and you're the only one still standing. You know how lonely that is? He's like, all I have is you. You know, all I have is you. I don't have anybody else in my life. Everybody else has left. So he says that's torment enough. Right there is torment, you know? So, I mean, we just got to, you know, keep things in prayer. And if you're going to do the right thing, either you do it or you don't. You know, either you do it or you don't, and just figure out what side of the fence you want to be on and rock the hell out of that side of the fence and be the best you can be on whatever side of the fence you're going to be on. You can't, you know, especially once we learn information, we can't practice cognitive dissonance and you're giving correct historical information, but because what grandma told me and mama told me or pastor told me, you don't want to receive that knowledge or information. You rather keep your old mindset and your old mental model in that frame of thinking rather than expanding it to say, you know what? I was always taught this way, but now that I see historically or biblically, you know, this is what it says in black and white. You can't just ignore that, because once you learn it, you're now held accountable for it. It's like a job. Once you learn something on that job, you're expected to perform that task in the order that it says to do it. You could go a different way, but guess what? Your ass to get fired. You know? So
I'm laughing. I'm sorry, Jax. I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing at you. Mashawn Payne's bro. Comma, COMMA.
Oh, dang.
Is real.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So
Okay,
I corrected that.
KARMA.
Yeah, I put it out there. I put it out there. It could be self-correction too, or because they, it does. But she said, "Karma is real." Yeah, karma is
Periods
Shut
and
up, see.
exclamation points also. So here's
conjunction
my question. It's
junction.
6
What's
minutes.
your function?
Yeah.
It's 6 minutes. 6 minutes to the top of the hour, family. It has been a Tell the Truth Tuesday like no other. Tomorrow is Working Out Wednesday, and we're gonna be working our way down to New Orleans after tomorrow. And family, it's time for us to close this thing out. It has been a great Tell the Truth Tuesday. Get ready for Working Out Wednesday. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with a friend. Click like and share. Tell your people to come in, join in with us, because we always gonna have something to say, because we got conversation for every situation, and we have chatter that matters. I said what I said. Let's close this thing out. Sister Jax, give me some closing words, please.
Yes, family, thank you so much for tuning in today. It was a great show. You guys are like our unofficial co-hosts, because we cannot do the show without you. And we love that everybody's in the chat and so engaged and having a good time. We're all learning from each other, KARMA. And we're all having a good time and just trying to build and enlighten our spirits and our souls and our minds. So go out today, have a great day. If nobody told you that they love you, know that Jax loves you. Have a blessed one, and I cannot wait to see you tomorrow, Lord's will. Peace out, my family.
Brother
Well, I'm
Patek.
just say this. I gotta let my team know this. I did something purposely today. I purposely hijacked this daggone show. I did not want to talk about Trump. I did not want to talk about this case. I just think that we got a lot to talk about and unpack. And it's the holiday weekend. I was out early this morning. I see the traffic is lighter, so a lot of people are traveling and just trying to take a moment to woosah. But I never knew that the conversation would go in this direction. I just didn't want to. I just could not sit here and talk about Trump. Could not do that today. So, but I thank you all, my co-hosts, Joe and Jax, because we've been with whatever is said and how we converse on this show. So thank you all. Just be careful out there, and whatever you do as we lead up to this holiday, that those that look at it as a holiday, those that don't celebrate the holiday, do take advantage, if they're not working, to take some time with family or just take some time for yourself. So just be safe whatever you do and however you move as we lead up to this. But that's what I'm saying. Just be safe and look out for yourself, but look out for one another and do something good that can help somebody. That's my final words for today.
That's what I'm talking about. Family, listen, we're getting ready to get up out of here. It is Tell the Truth Tuesday. If you are outside today and where you are at, it is hot. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Drink plenty of water. Get you electrolytes in you, whatever, because there are heat advisory, heat warnings. And if you're out there, the last thing you want to do is die from heat. Heat kills more folks than anything else. Heat kills more people than anything else. Be better today than you were yesterday. And do something today to be a blessing to somebody somewhere, that there's no earthly way, no matter what you do, that they can pay you back. And always remember that there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. Thank you for everyone that was in the chat. Thank you for everyone worldwide that was logged in. We up out of here. We'll be back tomorrow if the Lord says the same for Work It Out Wednesday. We out. Hashtag truth be told. Peace.
You slow with the music there, bro?
Here they go. First or that. 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 First or that.
Oh, who's the black sheep? What's the black sheep? Don't know who I am or when I'm coming, so you're sweet. Wasn't in my room or wasn't in your sphere. Know who I but let's in here. Fresh, ask yes, I guess I can start. If it's alright with you, I'll rip this hit when I'm on. Back middle to the front, don't front. Want a good time, wanna give you what you want. Can I hear a hey? Get it up. You got a hat. The hoe. Calling is creative. Actually, both the native can be violated or it's decepticated. I got bubbles in the jungle, cousins on the quest. 7 taunted uncles and big forest made it. Yes, which way? Rough way. The long as black sheep slam now. Oh, you heard the others. Only to the levels. Then, of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, where it's at. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I think you can get with this. Cancel black sheep, cancel black sheep. Even if we wanted to, I cannot be swing like this. Why should I swing it like that? Because in fact, for me, it might not attract. Therefore, I ignore it. As I feel aside, I live with me. I've got my back tonight. You know what I'm saying? Yo, black, I'm not playing. Need to go with this and go with this without delay and see. In actuality, under canopy, I made it look easy because it is to me. Anytime capacity was so, tried to rock it. Anytime a honey gets play, tried to lock it. Never was a fool. So we finished school. Never see us sweat and you'll never see us roll. Out to rock the globe, but still here to rock. Don't punch girls and we don't punch your clocks. Gotta go see you later about a cat. And you can't beat that with a bat. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. I can get with this, where it's at. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, come back. Engine number 9 on the New York Transit line. If my train goes off the track, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Back on the scene. Just be clean. You can try, but don't why, because you can't intervene. We be the outcast. Down for the settle. Don't play rock. Don't play the pebble. Open the door. You best believe we're sliding through it swiftly. Niftily. We can make it nifty. What we're on, what would be. The epitome to die dippity. So now I dwell just to say you plain up. Oh, your cup, because I got the container. Pass the plate up. Work the fade on. Fact, she can play like the Sony innovator. Never tricked her. Party and flip her. And you can get a scoop later. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. With this, because it's kind of that. This, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this, or you can get with that. You can get with this.